Okay, hitting record. We are recording. Hi, everyone. Welcome to our first ever weekly sync for team number 25, TCL 25. Welcome. What we can do, because I'm sure that some of you have been in orientation groups with other people. So like, I'm sure some people know some people, but we can just do a quick round of like introductions here because we're all going to be working very closely over the next 8 weeks. We're going to be seeing each other every week. And we're going to be just collaborating on this shopping app project that you will all have and be able to, add to your portfolio and share that and just proceed on your coding journey to wherever you want to go. I'm going to start off and then I think it could be nice to share just like your name, where you're coming from, where you are right now, and like kind of just a brief overview of your coding journey and what excites you about coding and where you want to go with it eventually. Can be whatever you want in that regard. Oh, Stacey, you added, okay, name, pronouns, where you are, coding journey. Yes, okay.
I just listing it in case somebody forgot.
Yes,
Me.
thank you.
I forget every time. I'm like, wait, what were the questions?
Thank you. Okay, so I'm going to start. I am Alex Morton. I am located in Toulouse, France, but I'm actually from California in the United States. I've been living in France for 6 years. Currently, and my pronouns are she and her. Kind of my coding journey. I'm a junior software engineer at a startup called Orbit. And over the past year, all of 2020, I actually spent that year making my full transition into software engineering from customer support. And so I spent all of last year teaching myself how to code, building projects, kind of like building a brand for myself to eventually move into software engineering. And then at the end of the year last year, I found a great position with this new startup. And I'm here now with the Collab Lab. This is my second time as a mentor, and I'm really excited about it. And so I am going to pass it off to Cynthia to go next. Sorry for the surprise, like, it's your turn, Cynthia.
Yeah. Could you remind me again?
Oh, wait. I think we lost you a little on.
And what do we have to say? Because I lost my internet, so.
Oh, yeah. So just your name. Yeah. Can you see in the chat?
Can you hear me now?
A little bit. It kind of goes in and out. It may go.
If you face mute too, sometimes it's better.
The country, the problem.
Oh, wait, let's see.
Sorry, what did you say?
Sometimes if you turn your camera off, it can be better with the audio.
Okay.
That's okay.
Yeah. Okay, let me stop the video.
Awesome, that looks great. Yeah.
Okay,
so just
can you hear me now?
Your pronouns,
yeah, we can hear you.
Where you are in your coding journey.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you.
That helps. Okay.
We can hear you, Cynthia. Can you hear us? Okay, I'm gonna just go ahead. What we can do is we can move to Chinami, if that's okay, and then we can come back to Cynthia. So Chinami, if you'd like to introduce yourself a little bit.
Okay, so I'm Chinami. I'm from Lagos, Nigeria. I fell into code last year. Graduate also for developer. am I looking to go with this? I'm looking to work with like health solutions for healthcare programs where I'm from. So that's likely for me. Is there anything else I can?
No, I think that's good. If you want to choose someone to go next, that's awesome.
Thank you.
Stacey, right? That's me. Hi.
Okay, I think.
Oh, is that what you said?
Call, right? Definitely listening here.
Thank
So
you.
go next.
I can't quite hear you. It could be my internet. Is everybody else hearing fine?
Ooh, it was a little difficult. It was a little spotty.
Okay.
Yeah, but I think you can go ahead, Stacey.
Okay, cool. Well, hi, I'm Stacey. My pronouns are she, her, hers. I'm in California. What was the other thing? Oh, coding journey. I'm a front-end engineer at a company called Zapier. You will find that a lot of other mentors at Collab also work at Zapier. We have a very solid team of super empathetic people who want to see junior developers come up in tech. So that's my journey now. Right now, I'm just kind of spending my day-to-day trying to really dig in and get more technical because I would like to eventually be an engineering manager and I need to like really boost my technical chops to get there. So that's my journey right now. I am the co-founder of Collab Lab. I'm also your code of conduct responder. So I posted in the channel, if you remember, but in a couple of weeks, I'll be reaching out to each of you individually to schedule one-on-one just to check in with you and give you space to talk about anything you need to talk about and see how things are going. So glad to be here. I will pass it over to Katya.
Hi everyone, I'm Katya. Might pronounce she, her, hers. I'm based in London, but at the moment I'm in Moscow. So I started teaching myself to code quite a while ago, but I've been doing this on and off. And to be completely honest, I want this career, but it's been so hard that I lose sleep over it. So I'm here to work on my collaboration skills and yeah. I'm passing it on to Golfo.
Thank you, Katya. I'm Golfo. I'm from Greece. My pronouns are she, her. I've followed the traditional path into tech, so I got my computer science degree some years ago. And for the past few years, I've been working remotely as a front-end developer. Currently, I'm working for a great startup named Mist.io. It's a multi-cloud open source management platform. All these years I've been focusing on my technical skills. Now I want to focus a bit on my community and social skills and all other soft skills. So thank you. I'll pass it over to Ibrahim. Ibrahim, can you hear us?
I think he's trying, but it's not coming through. Okay, I think actually we're just getting static on this end. Let's see, maybe, I'm not sure. Abraham, if you'd like to maybe just type into the chat your introduction, that could be great. And then we could move on to Julia.
Hello?
Oh, there we go. There you go. Hi.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Yep.
All right.
Awesome.
Sorry for the technical issues.
That's okay.
My name is Ibrahim. I'm a Nigerian. It's possibly I'm from Nigeria. So my pronouns him and is. So about my career, so um still a student studying in university in my country. So the University of Illinois. Not studying any STEM related course like studying English education. So I was introduced to tech about 2018. So but I've been on and off in tech, so which is a little bit of uneasy for me. That was because I'm not from a technical background of STEM. So on the verge of getting myself familiar with technology. So I had to become a Microsoft Student Ambassador of my school. Currently a co-lead of also a co-lead of Google Developer Students Club of my school as well. So I've been trying really hard to get to grab some things, which was why I had to like join this community when because I see this community they are promising and very important to take my career because I had to have a change in career from English education to tech. So that's thank you very much.
Awesome.
So I'll
Awesome.
be passing it back to okay. I think Alex.
Oh yeah, thank you. I'm gonna yeah, we'll go with Julia. Thank you, Ibrahim. Yeah, that was amazing. Can't wait to work with you. Let's go with Julia, and then we're gonna round it back to Cynthia to finish out the introductions.
Okay. Yeah, I'm Julia. She, her, hers. I'm based in Vienna, Austria, and I started my coding journey last summer, and I was actually in the last cohort, the winter cohort, and now it's my first time to be an assistant mentor. And my goal would be to find work in Japan or Korea. Yes.
Awesome. And Cynthia, we're going to round back out to you. If everything's working. Cynthia, are you there? Sometimes we have the first meeting, getting everything worked out with technology. It's all good. If not, what we can do is we can always come back as well. We have a few things on the agenda today. So I think what's next is we have a learning module presented by Golfo on Git, just to get everyone up to date with what's to be expected in terms of Git knowledge and GitHub and pushing the project up. I think everyone basically has a basic sense of it. This will just help to really give a broad overview of everything. So I'm going to stop talking because I'm monopolizing the conversation. And I'm giving it to Golfo.
Okay, thank you, Alex. So I'll share my screen. Alex, it says you have disabled participant screen sharing.
It should be good now.
Okay, awesome. And let me make this full screen. I pressed full screen, but it's still small. But I guess you can see everything.
Yeah, we can see everything.
Okay, awesome. So today we're going to learn about Git. We'll be using it a lot for this project. Everybody will be using it to push their changes. So today we'll be covering how to create and switch branches, how to stage changes, saving changes in history, sending changes to GitHub, getting the latest changes, and getting your changes in the main. So some Git terms you have to know. First of all, what is Git? It's a version history control system, and Git is the management system, and GitHub, GitLab, etc. are the hosting servers. So the service is GitHub, and the system is named Git. So a repository is, or else called a repo, is a collection of files under source control, like Git as we mentioned. A remote is the origin repo somewhere online, like GitHub. A branch is a working copy of the repo. The main branch is the source of truth, and we call them branches because they come out of the main branch of the project. Like on a tree, you have the log and you have branches coming out of it. A commit is a set of changes to the repo, and head refers to the last commit. A pull request documents how what changes should merge with main, and it's something of a comparison, like when you make your changes, the pull request shows you the comparison compared to the branch you want to merge in, which usually is the merge branch. And pull request is a term specific to GitHub. In GitLab, for instance, it's named merge request, but these two terms are a bit interchangeable. And I mean, if you say pull request or merge request, everybody will understand what it is. So here it says this is animated, but I'm not sure if there's a play button or something. Anyway, here we can see a visual of the main branch and a working branch that we make. Here are each of the commits. Each circle is a commit. On the main branch, we see it starts out with the initial commit, a button is added, and then we want to add a new feature. So we make a new branch, add a couple of stuff. In the meanwhile, somebody else has added something else to the main branch. And finally, when we get to merge them, Git adds all of them together in sequence. So it adds them in a chronological order. So here are the changes that are already in master. Go inside the main branch, then the new commits are added, styles and tests, and then we get our final main branch. So now we'll go check the commands that we use in Git, the most usual ones. Git checkout allows us to switch to an existing branch or to create a new one with the B option. By the way, the options in Git, options are these arguments we put when we write the Git commands, are case sensitive. So -B isn't the same as -B. So you can make any changes you want in a working branch, and this is one of the most powerful features of Git, that you can make a new branch, do whatever you want, and you don't mess up the main branch. So you don't have to worry if you're making a mistake that breaks something. So with checkout, we can check out to a different branch. And with checkout B, we create branches. Let me see here. And usually we start out branches from the main branch when we make a new branch. Staging changes prepares files to be committed. So when you stage a file, you tell Git that you want to commit this file. You are sure that everything is correct there, and you commit it. The A capital option stages all files to be committed, so you don't have to add them one by one. But if you want to add a single file, you can add it like this: git add file, or git add A. And this is, maybe you've also seen git add all. It's the same. So commit and changes, we can do this with git commit. It takes stage changes and commits them to Git. This creates a saved record of changes to the code base. So until you actually commit something and push it to the remote branch, nothing is saved. I mean, nothing is backed and saved online. Git commit also has a few options. You can, if you just type git commit, it opens an editor to write a message. But most of the time it's useful to type git commit m and add the message right there. Also, you can do this as a shortcut. Many times we say git add a and then git commit, but as a shortcut you can say git commit am, and it stages and commits in one command. Okay. And finally, we've made our changes, staged them, committed them. The final step is to push them. So arguments and options tell Git where to send commits. That's usually origin. Origin refers to the source where the repo was originally cloned from. And you add some upstream reference to the remote. This needs to only be done once per branch in the beginning. And afterwards, Git knows where to send commits automatically. So when you're first creating a branch and you first want to push it to the remote, which the remote is the main source, it's the online source, not your local machine. You can say git push u origin and the name of your branch. But usually what I do is I just type git push, and then Git gives me an error message, and it tells me that, hey, this you don't have a remote store. Maybe you wanted to type this, and it gives me the command, and I copy it. So because I'm too lazy to type it out. After that, if we just hit Git push, it pushes all committed changes automatically. You don't need to do anything else. And finally, Git pull. Git pull is when you get changes from the remote on your current branch. So like this, you get changes from everybody else. First, you check out to the branch you want to go, for example, main, and then you pull the changes. And it's good practice before creating a new branch to pull the latest main so you're up to date with everybody else and you don't have merge conflicts. So pull requests, you can do them through GitHub. I think some of you actually did some pull requests when trying to add your names to the contributor file. It's pretty simple, and we'll also cover it later. And of course, if anybody needs help, he or she can always ask the mentors. Sometimes you get merge conflicts. Merge conflicts are caused when Git can't figure out how to resolve changes to the same file for two different branches. So usually if Git can figure out how to merge files, like for instance, if somebody makes changes to the beginning of a file and somebody else makes changes to the end of the file, Git understands how to merge them. But sometimes two members might make changes to the same function, and then Git gets a bit confused, and then you need to manually tell it which changes you want. This usually happens if two members are working on the same thing, so that's why it's a good idea to split up work and try to work a bit independently. Or if you are working on a branch and don't merge the main branch often. So you start working on a branch, everybody else pushes stuff to main, and then when you try to merge main into your branch, there's all these changes that you need to fix the merge conflicts. But if you get any merge conflicts, communicate with the rest of the team, ask the mentors for help. There's also a helpful guide here. It might look a bit confusing in the beginning when you first get one. I remember when I first got merge conflicts, I didn't know how to handle them. Usually in my first projects, I just cloned the repo again. But later, it gets easier and easier. So here are some more resources. The Git documentation is very good. It tells you in detail all of the commands and all of the options you can use with them. Atlassian's Git tutorials. And of course, Google and Stack Overflow. And your team, it's good to, talk about this together. Everybody might know something else, and our combined knowledge is much better than the knowledge of each of the members. So let me see you again. Do you have any questions? I think I went through them a bit too fast. If you have any questions or on one of these commands on something else.
Also, that was great.
Okay,
Yeah, I
thank you.
always love the Git presentations because I feel like I still learn so much or like just like the kind of a refresher on it.
Yep, and for me, that's why I picked to present it, because I thought, okay, I'm a bit rusty on Git, I'll present it, so I'm forced to study it again. But
Yeah,
usually,
it seems so
so-
nerve-wracking to use it, but it's like your team is totally here for you. So if you ever feel like confused or stuck, like just be super duper duper noisy about it, because probably somebody else has the same question as you.
Yep, and the Git might seem overwhelming, but at least for me in my job, I usually end up using like 4 or 5 commands all the time, and rarely I'll need a different command, I'll look it up, but usually it's just git add, git commit, git push. If you learn those basics, you are okay.
I totally agree with that.
Okay, so if we don't have any questions, guess we can move on.
Yep, I think so. That sounds
Okay.
good.
Thank you.
Thanks, Golfo. And yeah, for our developers, it may be a lot of information now. And so if you don't have any questions off the top of your head that you want to put in the chat, or you want to just like ask right now, no problem. You can always, as Stacey said, be noisy, ask in the channel, and that's what we're here for. That's what we want you to do. Great. Do we want to try with Cynthia again? For Cynthia, are you okay with your audio working or your microphone working? Maybe. And if not, that's okay. We can move forward.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
hopefully it won't break.
Okay, we can hear you better now.
Yeah, so my name is Cynthia Edukunda. I'm from Rwanda. Currently a student at African Leadership University in Mauritius. Yeah, I'm really passionate about coding. I really like the way you can, you guys hear me well?
Yeah, definitely.
Oh yeah. Okay, so I feel like the reason why I like coding is because you get to work on practical things and be able to solve some of the biggest problems like here in Africa. So yeah, I'm happy to meet you all.
Awesome. Oh my gosh, we are so happy to have you all. Seriously, so excited.
Thank you.
I think what we can do now is we will move on to discussing kind of an overview of the next week's issues. So I guess our first issues of the week that that you'll be working on. As you've heard in the orientation and whatnot, we're going to be breaking up into pairs. So the 4 developers on the team are going to be working in pairs of 2 and 2 for this week. And so I have pairs here, but I don't know if our mentors do we have like anything right now that shows who's working with whom? Okay, that's okay, because yeah, I have them right here. We're gonna do Chinami with Cynthia as the first pair, and then Katya and Ibrahim will be the second pair. And so within in Slack, each of you will have a dedicated thread for you to just communicate and like coordinate when you'll be working together and what works for you. You can ask questions, you can tag the mentors if you need to in the thread as well, to if you need a hand or if you need a second pair of eyes. But what we're gonna do is Julia will go over these next week's issues, and then you can ask questions, or if not, I always feel like it's kind of like you get all of this information, and it's for me, I know it's difficult for me to just have questions off the top of my head. So again, same thing about going into the Slack, or once you start working on something, if you have questions, no problem on bringing those up. So with that, I think Julia, you are taking care of issues, and
Yeah, well, let's go to the very exciting part of very first issues. So the first issue would be, as a component, I want to be able to read from and write to the Firestore database so that users can persist information. And the acceptance criteria for this one is the following have been added as a project dependencies. This is Firebase and React Firebase hooks. Make a change in the Firestore database and it shows up in the app, and make a change in the app and it shows up in the Firestore database. Are there any questions about this issue? Am I ready to ask about if there are questions? Or should I go to the next one?
One thing that I really want to point out about this one, so like everybody listen really close because this is super important. People a lot of times will take this issue and way overdo it and basically build the whole beginning of the app. They'll like build a list and that list will return things. So it's like when you're tackling this issue, do something super duper simple, like in the app, make a button and that button counts, like make a counter or something very, very, very simple just to prove that the Firebase is connected. So don't go create like the entire list and form inputs and stuff. Just do like, you click a button and it adds a number or something.
Yeah, true.
Something simple. I'll leave a note in the GitHub comment too.
Yeah, do that. Okay, the another issue would be, as a user, I want to be able to navigate between the list view and the add an item view, so that the interface is clearly delineated between viewing and adding. The acceptance criteria for this one is React Router DOM has been added as a project dependency. Links are present and persistent at the bottom of the app, one for the list view and the other for the add an item view. When one of the links is clicked, the browser URL updates to represent the current view, and a matching view component is displayed. Whichever view is selected, the corresponding link should display in bold text. Are there any questions on this issue? And if there are no questions now, no problem. Yeah, you can now choose which issue you want to take. It's totally up to you, which you feel more comfortable with, issue 1 or issue 2. We let you decide.
Any takers, anything stand out to anybody? I think, was somebody asking in chat about like database structures? Was that this team?
Yeah, I think Ibrahim was, I think, yes.
Your pair might want to take the Firebase one. There's not a lot of like database structuring that goes on in this step, but it would still get you like a little more familiar with that particular technology. So that could be a good one for you to take.
Does that sound good for you, Ibrahim?
If nobody has a preference, we'll just assign them, because I know it can be hard to know. You're like, I don't know, I'll take any of them, doesn't matter.
Okay.
Yeah, totally.
So I have a question. Just to be clear, are you asking us to pick which issue we would rather work on, individually or in pairs?
Yeah, so you'll be in a pair this week. Who's Cynami's partner?
Cynthia.
Okay, so Cynthia and Chinami, you'll be partners. So you both could pick one of these. So maybe you want to write, or maybe you want to do the React router one. Yeah, if you want one, yeah, pick it now, or we'll just assign it randomly.
Okay. Well, I'd like the React router one. I haven't worked with Firebase before.
Perfect. Okay.
Okay.
So Chinami and did we say Cynthia was Chinami's partner?
Yeah.
On the router, and Ibrahim and Katya on Firestore.
Okay, great.
That works
Thank
out.
you.
Should I just stop sharing?
Yeah, you can stop sharing. And so what I'm gonna do, okay. Oh wait, 1 second. So I'm just kind of multitasking here really quickly, and I'm gonna let you know. So in the Slack right now, then I'm gonna add. Wait, does that? Yeah, that's.
Yep.
Yeah. Why it
This
looks so
looks good.
squishy.
It's weird because there's not anything threaded yet.
Yes. Okay, that's it. Yeah. So yeah, then and then what we do in that case is that oh shoot. Maybe one of my fellow mentors could, yes, Stacey. Oh, thank you so much.
Yep. No worries.
For adding, okay, the threading. We or one of my fellow mentors will attach the issue, the specific issue from the GitHub repo in there as well. And so
I'm on it.
thank you. So developers, this will be where you coordinate with one another. And like I said before, if you have questions, you can feel free to tag us as mentors and that kind of thing. This will all really, I think at the beginning, it's easy to look at everything and be a little intimidated because there's like it seems like it's a huge process, but really what is great about the Collab Lab is that it so revolves around you as developers. And so you can really make this as much of an experience as you want it to be with your collaboration. Like I think at this point in the beginning, the mentors are talking a lot just because it's the beginning and whatnot, but really this is about you all collaborating and you building your skills as collaborators, as remote collaborators on a remote coding project. And then what was I gonna say? I don't know, Golfo, Julia, Stacey, do you have anything you want to add to that?
I just wanted to add that usually the first week is a bit bumpy, so you might run into trouble with Julia and Alex are laughing. You might run into trouble with merge conflicts, or something isn't working with Git, with branches, or maybe you can't install a package. Maybe if you have a Mac or Windows or something, you will have issues with VS Code if you're using VS Code. That's totally normal. And actually, it's a bit good if we run into some small problems. It will help us figure out how to debug the problems. And another thing about questions, it's better to ask them sooner than later. So if you have a question, just ask in Slack. And if you figure it out on yourself half an hour later, okay, just, post the answer and say, you know what, I figured it out before anybody could answer. But if you just have a question and you don't ask it and you ask it in the last minute, then nobody will have time to answer. Just thank you.
Yeah, definitely.
I totally agree with that. It will feel a little rocky this first week, but once we get through the first week, and then especially the second week, it'll be like, oh, every week kind of looks the same. Like we're solving new technical problems, but every week we have this meeting where we're all together. We get paired up, we figure out what issue we're working on next week, and then we go start working on those issues. So we'll make sure that when we leave the meeting today, you're all set up to just roll so that you have your branch with your partner and you're feeling comfortable and confident knowing what you're supposed to work on and where you're supposed to work. So let's do it.
Yeah, it's going to be great. It's going to be great. I am so excited to see what everyone's going to build. One thing I did want to also announce is that I will be hosting an office hour this week. I think, we've gone over this in the orientation, but each week, one of the mentors will host an office hour depending on when everyone is available. And that's your time as developers to come and ask any questions pertaining to that week's code issue. If there's any questions or any weird issues anyone's having. Oh, are we doing branches on this call? I didn't know. Stacey,
I was asking, we can or we can't.
Yeah.
I think we can if we have time. So I figured we just have people set up their branches.
Okay. Yeah. I don't know what that looks like because I don't think that we did that.
I can lead it.
Awesome.
Yeah, no worries. Okay,
wait,
cool.
Really quickly, sorry, just to finish up. So yeah, I'm gonna host the office hour this week, everyone, and then I'll also post like an announcement for it probably today or tomorrow, getting everyone's availability, and then we'll let you know like what that will be scheduled, and it'll kind of be the same as this, but just in a more casual question answer setting. Cool.
I love it. Okay. So before we get off the call, let's make sure each pair has a branch set up to work on this week and everybody has access to it. So from each pair, can I get one volunteer to create the branch? Just let me know who you are and we'll walk through those steps. Volunteers, or else I'll
I
just call
could be a
them.
volunteer for
Okay,
the
Katya
pair.
and Abraham. So Katya is gonna create the branch. Cynthia or Chinami, can one of you create a branch? And I'll walk you through how to do it right now too. Because then the other person's gonna pull it down. Okay, Cynthia can do it, great. Okay, so pull open your terminal and go to your project. Make sure you're in the TCL 25 project. And then I'll drop the command in chat. My butterfly keys are so bad on this laptop. They like stick and add 100 characters.
What are
Check
butterfly
out.
keys?
Oh, so like on Macs, there was like this phase where they had a certain technology that powered their keys where like underneath the key, the like mechanism is shaped like this, like a butterfly. And when you click it, sometimes it gets stuck. And so my E keys and my T keys like get stuck and they're like, brrr. So I think they've gotten rid of that
Learn
technology
something new
now.
every day.
So yeah, if you ever hear anybody like my butterfly keys, it's like, that's why they did away with it. Okay, and also, okay, in the chat, when you get into your terminal and you get to the project, you're gonna use git checkout -b, you and your partner's initials, and then the feature branch name. This is documented in the orientation if you ever wanna go back and look at that, but you'll probably get the hang of it after this week. So for Katya, for example, it would be, and I'll put this in the chat, you'd be like, Katya, what's your last initial?
U.
So it'd be KU -IO fire or connect to Firebase or something. Connect, I can spell, to Firebase. That's what yours would look like. And then, so for Cynthia and Chinami, it would be CI-CZ- React Router or whatever you want to call it. What you call it is kind of unimportant, just as long as we can look at that branch name and know who participated in that code. She'll be back in a minute, babe. Sorry, momming. So once you get that done, let us know, and then we'll move on to the next step, and we'll make sure your partner can pull it down and have access to it.
Okay, done.
Done? Okay, so then Abraham.
Stacey?
Go ahead, Cynthia.
Oh yeah, so are we going to do this before doing the fork and?
Oh, so do you already have your project cloned? You should just need your project cloned.
From when you added yourself as onto the contributor file. Cynthia,
do you have a copy of the project locally that you cloned when you added yourself to the contributor file? Okay, I don't know if Cynthia can hear us. So
yeah, I can
let's
hear you now.
Okay. Cool. Do you have a copy of the project locally from when you added yourself to the contributors file? Oh, I see you're lighting up, but we can't hear you. Maybe can you use the chat? I might be able to hear you now.
Yeah, it's strange because it's like green lighting up, but then it says mute.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Okay, well, Cynthia, if you can post your, okay, yeah, you have the project locally, perfect. That's all you need. So from your terminal, like go into that project using the CD command is how you would get there. If you want to screen share too, we can totally like walk you through what else you might need to do. Katya, you'll get push upstream. Let me grab that commit for you, or that command. So many words. Git push this, and okay. So for Katya, you should be able to run this command to push your new branch up to remote. And Cynthia, do you want to screen share with us so that we can help walk you through the branch creation part?
Yeah, I would actually want that you share again the code for checkout because I lost the internet. So
Yeah. No worries. So let me get this to you. And I'm going to copy the branch name that I created too. Okay, there's your command in the chat. Once you're in the project, you'll do git checkout -b and then that branch name. And that should create the branch. And then I'm going to pop over to the actual GitHub project on GitHub. And I see now that there are 2 branches and Katya's branch is up there. So Abraham should be able to pull it down now. Yay, Katya. So Abraham, you'll do git pull when you're on the main branch to pull everything down. And you should, after that, be able to do git checkout with no b and then the branch name to check it out. So I'll copy the branch name and add that command for you in the chat. Git check out this. All right. Great job, Katya. That was perfect. Is it Katya or Katya?
It's Katya. Yeah, you're doing
Katya. Okay, Katya.
Yeah.
Okay, so Abraham, let us know if you are able to get to that branch locally. If you're not, I'll have you share your screen and we can kind of work through that together. Cynthia, were you able to put that command? Oh, go ahead, Abraham.
Yeah, I've been able to do it.
You got it?
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, so for Katya and Abraham, you have your branch now. That's the branch that you're going to work on the Firebase issue on. So all week you're going to be collaborating on that branch. And then you'll create a pull request. Like as soon as you get some code up there, go ahead and create a draft pull request in GitHub so that we can like keep up to date with what you're working on and you can have a conversation there. But the very next thing that you two will want to do is in that thread in Slack, that pairing thread, coordinate sometimes early this week to start pairing on that issue. And during your pair session, you'll just work through the issue. Like one person will share their screen usually, and you'll talk through like what code you need to put in place. You'll test things together, push things up to the remote repo. The other person can pull it down and you can switch and have the other person screen share and code until you complete the issue. And then once you feel like you've got it to a good place and it's ready for review, tag the other pair and they'll give their code review and then tag the mentors and they'll give a final approval and the issue will be done. Do you have any questions about that process before I move on to helping the other pair with their branch?
All cool. Sounds awesome. Thank you so much.
Good. Okay, if you do have questions, just let us know, but just try and coordinate in that pairing thread in Slack and we'll keep up to date on it and see if we can help in any ways. Okay, so Cynthia, were you able to use that command?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, so then after you do that command and you're on that branch, do this one, git push -u origin head, and that should push your new branch that you created up to the remote repo so that.
Did that already.
Okay, I'm not seeing it yet.
Oh, okay.
If you want to screen share, we can see what your terminal's saying and maybe debug it.
The problem is I'm actually using 2 separate laptops, so I don't know how I can do that, but it looks like I've already, because I'm seeing a message that branch, the name set up to track remote branch from origin.
Okay. Interesting.
Isn't that the message that
I wonder if, okay, so when you see that message, there should be a URL to GitHub, like somewhere buried in that message. Do you see a URL to GitHub?
Yeah.
Okay, can you send that URL in the chat to us?
Okay.
Yeah, Julia, that's kind of what I'm thinking too. We're wondering if maybe you forked the project instead of cloned it, and that URL should tell us. But your name got added to the contributors file, so.
true, but I saw that you forked it and it's in the forked version.
Oh,
But
okay, okay, okay.
Would you prefer it's
Okay,
it's right.
let's go to
So we might need to reclone that project then.
Oh, okay.
Do you have that link?
Yeah, I'm trying to use the this laptop, the other
Oh,
one
because
to
you're
send.
using two. So does
Yeah.
that link, you can probably just tell me, when you click on that link, does it take you to like your GitHub? Yeah, okay, cool. Okay, so what we'll have to do on yours is we will clone the project again. So we'll have you delete this project here, and we will have you instead clone it. Let's do, in the meantime, Chinami, would you be able to pop into your version of the project and use these commands to create the branch and push it up? And then
currently like also issues I'm going to have to repair tomorrow, so I can't do that today. I'm sorry.
okay,
Do you hear me?
so yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah,
Let's
sorry about
do. Okay, so Chinami, do you have a forked version of the project, or do you have a cloned version of the project?
I don't have
Julia,
it
did you?
cloned yet because I haven't been able to work with my system all week
Okay,
because
cool.
of the issues it's having.
Okay, so let's make
Sorry
sure we
about that.
get, it's okay. Let's try and get these. Do you think that you can have this done like Monday? Is that reasonable? Do you think that you'll be able to get the project cloned Monday? Chinami?
Yeah, I think I should be able to. If not by Monday, but Tuesday at latest, I should have all my issues resolved.
Okay, so what we'll do for Chinami and Cynthia is we'll coordinate with you in that thread to make sure you've got the projects cloned and everything correctly, and that one of you has created the branch and we are pulling it down and working. But let's make sure by like end of day Monday that we have the branch created and some pairing times scheduled, and we're like off on the right foot. Does that sound okay to everyone? Good.
Yeah, it does. Thank you so much.
Okay, awesome. Okay, so Katya and Abraham, you're like ready to go, ready to start pairing and stuff. Chinami and Cynthia will make sure to coordinate in that thread. Maybe one of the mentors can put the commands in there that they'll need to clone the project down locally. There are instructions in the README actually, so maybe just link to those. I think they're pretty good and have screenshots and stuff. And then we'll just follow up like end of day Monday to make sure those get done, just so that we don't fall behind or anything. And that's it. Does anybody have any questions?
Yeah, I have a question.
Sure.
Yeah, so I cloned the project. I don't know what you mean that it's forked, or yeah, what you mean the reason why I'm having this error.
Okay, cool. So
question.
yeah, does anybody want to like walk through that difference? I feel like I'm monopolizing the conversation. I'm not even a mentor here.
No, that's okay. It's appreciated. I could definitely take a stab at it from what I understand it. And if anything could be better explained, please don't hesitate to interrupt me, other mentors. So basically the difference between cloning and forking is when you fork a repository, you're basically bringing the project into your code editor. And then when you're pushing it back up to GitHub, you're doing it from your GitHub account. So on the other hand, when you're cloning a repository, you're cloning, so say it's this, our TCL 25 shopping list, you're cloning it, like making a clone, duplicating it onto your computer. When you're coding your changes onto your computer and then pushing it back up to GitHub, it's still in the Collab Labs GitHub profile account instead of being on your account. I think that's,
yeah. It's basically like when you fork it, you're kind of creating a version for you that you just get to have kind of like by yourself in your account. which is fine and like something you can totally do. But if you really want to like collaborate with the team, it's best to just clone it, because then you have the exact same project. You get to see all your friends' changes and pull them down and stuff. So in the project README, it'll give you the exact like way to do it. You'll just clone it. So if you see fork anywhere, you can just ignore the forking. But basically at this point, like the project that you have locally is too individual. And so we'll want to get rid of that one. You can just delete it off your machine completely and then follow the instructions in the README to just clone the project, which will be the same project that everybody else has, like the exact same copy.
Yeah, I just linked the section of the clone project locally just in the chat. And so yeah, just by following that, you'll be able to pull the project down. And that way you're just basically communicating with the Collab Lab repo and then your computer. So when you push anything, it's pushing it to the group's project. And then when you're pulling anything down, it's also from the group's project.
Totally. Yeah, can you drop that in their thread too?
Yes.
Because I think that
Yes,
Chinami
yes.
will need to do the same thing tomorrow.
Totally.
Forking is a good thing, and you'll have to fork things in life. Forking will happen for you. But for this particular project, just cloning is going to be the best way forward. Yeah.
All right. I think that's great, everyone. Does anyone have any other questions? That was a great question about
That was really good.
Because I think too, for us as mentors, it can be, it's kind of like getting everyone on the same level of like communication as well, because we can drop things in there that I know for me, I'd be like, well, I actually didn't know that before being actually in a work environment. So if there's anything that's confusing, don't hesitate to ask. It's totally normal.
Yep, totally. All right. Well, with that, I think that's the first weekly sync in the books.
Yay, everyone. So excited. And yeah, you're off the hook for speaking and publicly and whatnot, but we're excited to hear what you have to say and hear your thoughts on your project and all that. So
Awesome.
All right, everyone, we will be talking in Slack, and if you have any questions, again, be noisy, ask them, don't hesitate ever. And we'll see you there.
We'll be checking in with you and stuff. So you're not alone. We're all in this together, and we will do the thing.
Yes. All right, everyone.
Good to see you all.
Have a good week.
Have a good week.
Bye. Have a nice week and a great start. Bye.
Bye.
Thank